So today we're going to show you how we turn this into this. That's coming up next. Hi everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you second week of February. It's a beautiful day here. It's going to get almost 80 degrees, believe it or not. So we're getting towards spring for us. We actually we've started been planting now for the last few weeks, our bare root fruit trees. I've got a couple bare root roses that we did put in, so we got a little non-food related but pretty related plants that have gone in. And then of course we're going to be planting several things as we go through the next several weeks as we get to our last frost date, which is coming up this coming week. So I want to talk a little bit about what we've been doing. One of the projects that we do every winter is we go through, we've got over 100 fruit trees and vines and bushes here on the property. And so when we do that, we've got a whole lot of sticks and brush that we create going through the pruning process, because we have to prune the vast majority of those in the wintertime. So what you may see down on the ground here in front of me is all we have left now. All of our pruning is done for the season, and this is all we have left. The majority we've actually already gone ahead and chipped. But what we do, instead of having all of this to deal with, is we chip this down and turn it into mulch. We've talked a lot about wood chips and some of the things that we use wood chips for. In fact, I'll link a video here. One of the things that we've discussed is how we use wood chips to actually prep soil, which is really what we're doing in this area here. What you can't see behind Lori are a couple of Pakistan fruiting mulberries. We've got our blackberry bushes here as well. But you can see that we're already prepping this ground because we know that in the future we will have some additional trees and fruiting bushes in here. So wood chips are an important part of that. And of course, when you prune, you're going to have a lot of branches and sticks that you get from your pruning, and obviously you can turn those into valuable wood chips. So what we use here on the farm, or at least what we've used so far, is this Sunjo. So we've got this Sunjo chipper shredder. This one is their 14 amp. It actually comes, we got it on Amazon almost a little under a year ago. I looked on there today. It's like 111 bucks Prime, so it's free shipping if you're an Amazon Prime member, which is how we did this. So we've actually already been using this. We've used it now several times over the last year. We've used it through our summer pruning, which is a lot of our citrus trees and our peach trees. And then of course we've gone through our entire winter pruning now as well, which is the vast majority of our 100+ trees have gone through this chipper. We have not replaced the blades on it yet. We probably need to do that because it's starting to bog down just a little bit. You'll probably see that here in just a second. But with the amount of brush that we put through here, let me tell you, these things are amazing. They're beasts. So we're going to show you that here in just a second. One other thing about where we're at. So you'll recognize this tree if you watch some of our other videos, and I'll link the video that we last had on this tree. This is our Carp's Sweet Quince. This tree we actually transplanted, so we moved it. It was on the other side of Lori where we're going to be expanding our pig enclosure. So we moved it here, and we're going to actually use this tree, which is where we're going to put all of the chips and shreds that we get from the pile that you see in front of us here. We're going to go ahead and put it on this tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a time lapse here. Lori's going to be on camera with me today, and we're going to show you how we can turn this brush pile into chips. So that's coming up right now. Okay, so we're back. So we did a couple takes because every once in a while this thing bogs down a little bit because we need to replace the blades or at least sharpen them, one of the two. But we're at the end of the season, so I haven't been wanting to take this apart yet to do just that. But I had a quick time lapse there, hopefully saw what this thing can do to smaller branches. We had a few branches in there were probably close to about 1 inch around. For the most part, it was mulberry branches, a couple of peach branches, and a handful of fig branches. The fig branches by far do the best to this thing, and these were all dry, so these have all been sitting on the ground now for a week at least. A few have been a couple weeks, but ultimately get an idea what this does. Now keep in mind, this thing we've probably gone through 130 to 140 trees, maybe 150 trees that we've actually pruned and put through this machine already without sharpening anything, and right at about a year. And it's still doing pretty good. So you can kind of see some of the smaller branches it'll kind of shred as opposed to chip, and that's what we have here. So it just kind of peels them off. We've noticed that as the blades have gotten duller, we've seen this a little bit more. So again, if you sharpen the blades, you won't see this as much. As we get down into here, you get an idea of what you get. I mean, really good as far as chips, depending on what you're chipping. A lot of this is fig. We did the fig at the end, so it chips up real nice. But you know, honestly, if the branches are a little more fresh as opposed to dry, they actually do better in this. We've found. But either way, a lot of wood chips that you get, and so you take that pile of brush that you saw in the beginning, and in probably about 5 to 10 minutes time, we wind up with wood chips that now we can spread around that tree and help feed that tree. So really wanted to give you guys an idea of what we use to help do our cleanup here after pruning. Pruning's done. This is the machine. This is our go-to. You know, we're at over 100 trees. We'll probably top out at about 140, 150 trees here on this property. At least that's our plan. You know, we might go with something a little bigger than this, given the workload that we're putting this under. But it's done its job for this. You know, if you've got a handful of trees, maybe couple dozen trees, I'll tell you what, this is all you need. I mean, we've gone through at least 60 or 70 trees this winter, and it's held up really nicely. So thank you for joining us today. This has been Dwayne and Lori reminding you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. So what you're probably listening in the background is all of our hens and Warrior, our rooster, really mad that we're standing in front of them again, not letting them out of their run. So, yeah, so, he's got dimples. So, hope you enjoyed this video today. We wanted to give you, don't know what I'm gonna say, something quick and simple. Yeah.